Fixed line internet connections into a church are difficult but not impossible. There are a couple of considerations. So the first thing to think about is the physical connectivity. It's either going to be a copper cable or a fibre direct to the premises, and that's not always easy. You have to consider how that cable is going to connect to the church. Now, the two ways of getting to a building are either underground, which in a church scenario isn't always practical. You can't go trenching through a graveyard, for example, but for some of the more urban churches, there might well be ducting in place that we can use. The other option is, if there's telegraph poles in the local vicinity, is to go overhead, but with that comes permissions required for fixing an overhead line. Are there obstructions like trees in the way? Where do we affix it to on the church, and how do we then run the cable and get that inside the property? So it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time. The biggest obstacle to a fixed line internet connection into a church is usually the address. Now, everybody knows where a church is in a village, you can't miss it. However, they don't usually exist on the Royal Mail address database, and that's because to get on the Royal Mail address database, you need to have a postal service at that address. Now, that is either a mailbox or opening hours with somebody present to receive mail, and that's why churches don't tend to be on the list. Again, not insurmountable. We can overcome that, and we have overcome it for several churches around the country, but it's difficult, time consuming, and takes a lot of preparation work. We will always do a first pass to check to see if a fixed line internet is available. Failing that, we will look at alternative options like 4G or 5G, which are much quicker and easier to install to get you connected.